What do you got? We're back.
Uh,
Thanksgiving is over. We are into December, the long winter ahead. Um,
or short winter, depending
it
on how you
could
get
be
it too.
global warming, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think what is really important to start us off this week is like the news. Like if you watch, like things are getting a little bit gloomy again. A lot of new COVID cases. The NFL was almost impacted by that. And it's like weeks like these when I just like to start off by saying that like at the end of the day, there's things that are bigger than gambling. There's things that are bigger than NFL sports. And I think we all have to realize that. And even when you have winning weeks or losing weeks, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like if you won or you lost, it doesn't really matter at the
Yeah.
end of the day because there's bigger things that are like exist in this world.
Counterpoint though, while it is getting more gloomy outside, there are things that, like sports gambling, that will pick us up. And a certain someone did really pick us up last week with the 10.
Sam, who was that? Who did pick us up last?
I'm not going to name names, but this human being on this show went 10-0. It's something that's never been done on this show before.
Well, technically 3-0.
Well, 3-0 and more the locks, but every pick he gave out on the show went 10-0.
Did you bet all of those 10 picks?
No, but it's picks I gave out. More the locks. More the locks are the only picks I take.
Okay, I'm just clarifying for everybody, and like I went 0-3, but that doesn't really matter.
And in case it's not clear yet on who picked up the slack for this show and went 10-0, it's this guy. You can actually, this is an edited show. You can make sure that people know I went 10-0.
A lot of people would probably like see that stat and be like, oh my God, he's due for an absolutely horrible stretch.
Well, I mean, honestly, the last 12 picks I've given on the show have hit because I lost my first more the lock of the week. That was the 1:00 game 2 weeks ago. And then I hit the last two, and then the 10 picks I gave out last week all hit. So that's 12-0 in my last 12.
Strategically speaking, the probability you're not helping yourself for the public to not be fading you this week.
Every game is 50-50. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It's a new week.
Sure, every game's a new game. And
Yeah.
Speaking of new games, we have a very interesting slate coming up this week.
Wait, hold on. Can we? I know we recapped how I did this week, but can we recap what Joe did?
Oh, no. What
Joe silently said he went 0-3.
I did say that, and we can move on. We are on a tight schedule here. We don't need to focus. Like you guys just said, every game is a new game, and we have new games coming up. But before we get to that, I do know I want to congratulate you going 10-0, Sam, and I want to congratulate you getting us an outbidded item for the new sponsor this week.
Yeah, we somehow, what do you got? Who would have known it's been a hotbed for candles? So earlier, obviously, we had, I can't even name who we had earlier because we don't give advertisements anymore. But now we are on to Murphy's Naturals. And I understand it is the winter, so you don't see mosquitoes as often. But this is a mosquito repellent candle. It is great for the spring, summer, and fall. Fall's getting a little muggy this year. So get your Murphy's Naturals candles. Mosquito repellent on the cheap in the winter off season. Store them up in your closet, put them in there. They'll be of great use. They have 30 hours of run time. Is that what you call them with candles?
I guess.
It stays lit. It stays
burn time, right?
Yeah, it has 30 hours of burn time. You know how much time you can spend outside with 30 hours? 15-foot radius, square foot, circle foot, diameter, 15 feet. It's honestly, I will never use another mosquito repellent candle other than Murphy's Naturals.
I don't know if this is like recommended by like any kind of health groups out there, depending on the chemicals in that candle. But I will say that I've noticed when the weather starts to turn, kind of in the season we're in right now, the mosquitoes come inside. Like they get their ass in here. So
yeah.
Like, they'll be floating around in your bedroom. You'll wake up in the morning with like 3 mosquito bites on your leg. Like, what the hell is this?
I mean, you might just have bed bugs then. But yeah, it actually also smells great. It is a phenomenal smell. So whether it's inside or outside, it smells fantastic. Great candle. Highly recommend to everyone who wants to get some. I bought a 2-pack the other day for like $20. And that's before they even became a sponsor. They saw I went 10-0. You didn't go. Yeah, I went 10-0. and they're like, we have to re-up with this guy. And
Now, I think they sent you a T-shirt too, which you're wearing right now. You don't have to show the logo because you already showed no double free ads, but
right.
yeah.
Yeah, they sent a shirt. It was a very nice care package. They sent like a nice little bracelet too that said, "Congrats on 10-0."
It's all about the green.
Yeah,
It's all about the green.
I'm ready for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. Not surprised to come from you.
Yeah.
But as we said, it is a new week. That 10-0 record means absolutely nothing now, other than additional sponsorship dollars to be coming. Joe's bounce back time. And to be fair, I wasn't here last week, so it wasn't a level playing field for Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Cam. If I struggle this week, we might kick you off next week's show.
Yep. Well, I'm going to have to live with that.
Yeah.
Let's jump into this week. First game we're going to talk about is Cleveland and Tennessee. Cleveland coming in as a 6-point underdog. You might get it at 5.5 some places. Sam, since you were so hot, what do you got?
Yeah, so as you said, 6-point favorite for the Titans. Both 8-3 teams. The Titans looked great last week. Phenomenal. They are a good football team. The Browns, they might be the most fraudulent 8-3 team of all time. 6 is a lot of points. There's no real movement in the line. The bet percentage and money percentage is pretty much 50-50. So I can't use my strategy of fading the public here. Just because it's so many points, I think I'm going to take Cleveland, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate it.
I hate that for you too, because I'm going to be going with the Titans in this
perfect.
game.
I love it now. I love it.
For the exact same reasons that you just mentioned, though. I think that this is the perfect time period for Derrick Henry. Like, this is after, like, right around the week of Thanksgiving, Derrick Henry just starts, like, bullying people. And I think that you can't – I don't think that the Cleveland Browns defensive line, as good as they kind of are, they haven't seen a guy like Derrick Henry yet. So they're going to just be pummeling the ball down the field. I like the Titans spread. I agree with you that it is a lot of points. I think I will still take the Titans, but I think my real pick here is actually going to be the under 53.5. I just like this game to be kind of like everybody's just running all three downs.
That's what last week was too, and there was like 70 points in that game.
Yeah.
Very risky having Derrick Henry just bust really long runs. Same thing with Nick Chubb. Both those guys can absolutely very good.
That was one of my more locks, by the way, last week. That hit because I went undefeated last week was the over.
Henry is about the last guy in the world you want to try to tackle in cold weather, and that's why he's been so good over the last few years at the end of the year. But
is it going to be cold in Tennessee? 45 degrees.
Not frigid, but
Cleveland plays in cold weather. They've been playing in like blizzards the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I like the under. I like the under.
He likes the under.
I like the Browns, even though I hate it.
Got it.
Moving on here, our next game we're going to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Texans. Houston coming off a massive win over Thanksgiving. The Colts, coming in as a 3.5-point favorite here. Sam, once again, what do you got?
Yeah, this line makes no sense. I understand the Colts got the bells beaten off them last week. Is that even saying something?
I think it is. I think
yeah, that sounds right.
Okay,
you're beating the bells. You're beating the bells.
You're beating it off of them. So yeah, but they are miles better than the Texans. So 3.5 confuses me a little bit. 69% of the bets are on the Colts. 90% of the money is on the Colts. Line has not moved an inch. And because of that, Sami Fade the Public is going to go with the Texans plus. I'm going to buy it up a 0.5 point. I'm going to say Texans +4. Even without Will Fuller.
So, yeah, Will Fuller suspended for PEDs. Only way he was able to stay on the field.
And Roby and one of their cornerbacks just gone.
Fun fact, their strength and conditioning coach, can anybody guess who it is?
Also, the Texans, fun fact, have covered in the last 3 games.
But fun fact, their strength and conditioning coach is Brian Cushing, somehow allowed to be a strength and conditioning coach because he's the king of PEDs.
He does
Joe,
drugs.
what do you got?
Yeah, so I don't think we really touched on it too much in the intro, but I do know that last week the public got shit pumped by Vegas. And as a man of the people, I too got shit pumped by Vegas, but we don't have to talk too much about that. We just talked about how the public did, not me. Because I'm a man of the people. Sam's selfish. So what we're really looking at here.
Sam.
Yeah.
Who's Sam?
Sam.
Never heard of Sam.
That's well, I guess it's Sam. It's Sam.
I'm just gonna start calling you Bo.
All right, back to the really important stuff here. I like the public this week, as always, because it's a bounce back week. Vegas wants you to have a little money in your pocket for the remainder of the season. They don't want to take it all from you right now and have you quit out before the playoffs. So I like the Colts here. Yeah, I don't understand the line at all. In fact, that was what started out our discussions earlier today when we were texting back and forth. I said, this line is ridiculous. I have no reason taking the Colts, but I'm going to because there is no reason to take the Texans. No reason.
No reason.
Other than the public's on the Colts.
I don't find that to be like a reason.
No, that's a reason. That's why you went 0-3 last week.
No, it's not.
It's compelling. Really, that's compelling stuff. No other reason than just because. But okay. Moving on to the next game, we've got the LA Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. Rams coming in as a 3-point favorite, 2.5 some places. Rams looked really bad last week, arguably very fraudulent. Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are one of those, again, I'm now finding myself, I was on the Rams for a while. Like, I figured them out in each and every way until last weekend. So I'm now back chasing, trying to find out exactly when they're going to pull a switch on me.
I think you had the Rams right last week.
What's that?
I think the Rams was your one correct pick last week. Like you were like, oh, you got to flip flop on the Rams. Once they look good, then they look bad. So they beat Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago. So you're like, they're going to look bad this week. Isn't the Rams that team?
I think the point spread was too low. I could be wrong. I have to go back. Like I said again in the recap, I had no business recording last week. I had no business recording last week, and it showed. I do have business recording this week though, and I think I'm gonna stick with the same shtick, and hopefully I grab them. Of seeing the Rams come out hot. Now, I do worry that because of the Cardinals being like piss poor against the Patriots, which we both saw coming though. We did see that, so I did get that right too. I remember talking about that. It worries me that they might come out smoking, but I think the Rams are also going to be trying to prove themselves a little bit as well, and therefore I'm actually going to be taking the over here. If you want to look at the Vegas money here, 46% of the bets are on the over, but almost 100% of the money is on the over, and the line has only gone up by half of a point. So I'm going to be going with the sharps there and taking the over.
Yeah. So this game kind of confuses me a little. The Cardinals opened up as a 1-point favorite, so the line's moved 4 points since then to the Rams -3. 56% of the bets are on the Rams. 66% of the money is on the Rams. The Cardinals have not covered in their last 4 games. Fun fact. Thanks to what's his face? Is Cliff Kingsbury their coach? Yeah, that guy. He took the knee instead of the extra point in that Bills game. So that kept them kept the ship towards their 4 straight games of not covering. But I think I kind of like the Rams in this one. I think the Cardinals aren't as legit as people think. They Kyler Murray is good, but he still has those rookie moments where he just makes some dumb mistakes. And I think I don't have confidence in Jared Goff either, but I think the Rams are a more complete team and can get this win here. And probably would buy it down to 2.5. But yeah, that's the pick there.
Fun fact that may have moved the spread. Jared Goff saying he's a big boy and he can handle it and take care of the ball better. That'll move the spread 4 points. Jared Goff coming in to prove something. We'll see if he lives up to it.
That is worth 4 points, in my opinion.
That's easily worth 4 points.
Yeah.
Moving on here, Seattle against New York Giants. Pretty big spread here. We're looking at a 10-point spread. Seattle absolutely destroying the Eagles up until the very last second where the Eagles backdoor covered by going for 2. Giants, without Daniel Jones, looking at Colt McCoy at quarterback. Seattle's defense still really bad, but what do you got?
Yeah. Has there ever been a more public team in like football history than the Seahawks? I feel like every single week the public is all over the Seahawks and they just like
I feel like the Packers like every year.
yeah, but it's like it's been crazy to see how much bet percentages on the Seahawks. This week is actually relatively low in terms of there's only I think I had it here and then I lost it. There's only 52% of the bets on the Seahawks, but 86% of them, 88% of the money. And the spread hasn't moved it from 10 at all. I would like the Giants a lot more in this game if Daniel Jones was playing, even if the spread was down to 7. But I think the Seahawks just have that mentality that even when they get up big, like they could just coast the rest of the game, like they did with the Eagles, and that what allowed the Eagles to come back. Like at the end of that game, the Seahawks, like every running play went for -3 yards. Like they didn't even the offensive line didn't even bother. The offensive line didn't even. I think I just had a stroke. The offensive line didn't even bother moving the defensive line of the Eagles. So I'm gonna do what I always do here, and I'm gonna take the Giants +10. Maybe buy that hook 10.5. Give that little hook.
Wow. Yeah.
By the way, 2 first place teams here. This is 2 first place teams. 2.
Big game for the Giants here. A lot of motivation here.
Yeah, I don't. Well, first of all, I would like to start off by saying that the Seahawks, no, you know what? I'll talk about that in Homer's Hits. Never mind. The Seahawks don't ever play like they haven't played a game this season where it's not like even if it is in like a game like last weekend, a blowout. The final score is not a blowout. Like it's a fairly close game. So I agree with you. That the bet here probably should be the Giants regardless. But I feel like the Giants have been playing a little too well lately, regardless of the close one last week in Cincinnati. Fun fact, that was their first ever win in Cincinnati, I'm pretty sure.
Their defense is good.
It's not bad. But
it hasn't allowed over 24 points in its last 5 games.
That the Seahawks defense turned a corner against the Eagles, and I think that they will have no problem if Colt McCoy is starting. So can I add in the stipulation that you're taking the Seahawks -10?
No stipulations.
Why not?
We've discussed this.
You wait until 4:05 or 4 o'clock on Sunday. It's a 4:05 kickoff. Wait until 4 o'clock on Sunday. Take some of your winnings from the 1 o'clock games. And if Daniel Jones is playing, you take the Giants. If he's not playing, you take the Seahawks. I don't care
we made Tom stick to his Raiders pick when
I tried to do this 2 weeks ago and you yelled at me.
All right, fine. Well, then what I'm going to ultimately take here is the over because it opened at 47.5. It's dropped down a half a point to 47. 56% of the bets are on the over. Almost 90% of the money is on the over. So, therefore, I'm going to ultimately take the over. And here's a quick shout out from Mr. Colin. So,
hi, Colin.
Thanks, Colin.
What the fuck is up? Yeah, so over in that game. I don't know why. I have no reason to bet the over, but the money just tells me to bet the over.
It tells
Giants coming off the worst public loss of the week last week. 98% of the money coming in on the Giants last week failed to cover against the Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. That was 15% of the overall handle at William Hill. Big, big win for the casinos there. Moving on to the last game we're going to talk about, Buffalo and San Francisco. Buffalo is an underdog in this game. That's surprising. They're a 1-point underdog. Niners looking pretty okay. Sam, what do you got?
Yeah, this line movement's been interesting. The Bills actually opened as a 2.5-point favorite, and when we were talking about the game earlier today, I saw the line moved to Bills -1. I see them right now as a pick'em, as the game as a pick'em, but I wouldn't be surprised if the line keeps moving to the 49ers -1. 49ers looked very good last week without Ayuk. Now it's supposed to have Debo and Ayuk back. I think Kyle Shanahan is a phenomenal coach and able to get the most of whatever
Regular season.
put in there. Yeah, exactly. And this is the regular season.
Yep.
Mostert's back. He looked decent, not a great yards per carry, but he did look explosive at certain points. Another week under his belt, maybe he looks even better. The Bills' run defense is piss poor. I think the 49ers are kind of going to ground and pound this game, get some trick gadget plays in with their speedy wide receivers. I actually love the 49ers in this game, especially with the line movement. 57% of the bets are on the 49ers. 57% of the bets are on the Bills. 54% of the money is on the 49ers. Line dropped from 2.5 to the Bills to a pick 'em. I'm taking the 49ers.
Yeah, I kind of am a little bit concerned about the Niners this week only because of their moving. Like they had to move to pack up everything and move to Arizona. So not only are they not playing on home field, not only did they just have to say goodbye to their families for a period of time, but they're also now like in a new state and everything. Like I just think that kind of throws you off a little bit when you should be focusing on the game coming up. You're not able to because you have a lot of other shit going on.
They could be angry. They could take that out. They could be angry. They could take that out on the Bills.
It's possible. It's possible. I do see that there's like 95% of the money is on the under. Which makes me think because of the move, the offense isn't going to be able to move as much as they did against the Rams last week. So I'm not going to touch the over-under. I think I like the Bills here, though. I don't the Niners, are another one of those teams kind of like the Rams, and I feel like they always play the Rams really tough. Like they really always grind it out against the Rams. So, yeah, I just think maybe this is a little bit of like a setback week for the 49ers. And the Bills are a decent team. Hopefully Josh Allen is like fully recovered after his little injury last week. I don't even know what it was exactly, but he was out for a good like 10 minutes of that game before he ultimately came back. So, I mean, they're kind of rolling right now. They're confident. I like the Bills.
One more note for that game. Since the 49ers did move to Arizona, as you pointed out, last time the Bills were in Arizona, things didn't go so well for them. So.
True. Just a quick note, Debo Samuel did not practice today on Thursday. Full practice for Brandon Ayuk. Big one for the 49ers if Debo can't go.
It was a hamstring issue that he's had lurking.
Debo's an incredible player, but continuously dinged up.
Yep.
Joe, moving on to you.
For Homer Hits?
Yeah, Homer Hits.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they stink. And what I wanted to bring up when we talked about the Seahawks game, I mean, I've pretty much had a rule my entire gambling career not to ever bet against a home team unless it's like a surefire thing. Like it's just a bad juju thing. And I figured for whatever reason that because this season is essentially over for the Birds, that it would be a good idea that the Seahawks, it was a surefire thing at -6.5. There was no way in hell that DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett weren't going to have 2 touchdowns each, Chris Carson back in the game, who's going to stuff it down their fucking throats. And unfortunately, my team, credit to them, just wants to play. They always want to play. They always want to go out riding high with their heads held high. They know that they tried. That's a Philadelphia way, and I regret not remembering that on Monday night. So credit to the Eagles. It was as Sam always says, good teams win, great teams cover. So credit to the Eagles. Shame on me. I will never do it again. It's in my rule book. So we're looking at the Packers in Lambeau this week. The Packers, I mean, they're a good team. They're a good team. They're a good team. They're better than the Eagles. So the line opens at 6.5, which I think is ridiculously low for this matchup, especially going on the road. And the line movement does show that in some places it's 8.5, in some places it's 9 right now in favor of the Packers. Over under opens at 48.5, drops down to 47.5 in some places. Tons of money on the over. Which makes me think, based on everything I know about the Eagles and the Packers, my brain says to take the Packers, but my heart, after what they did to me last week, I have no choice but to take the Eagles. I'll take the points here +9.
Cool. Yeah, it's crazy that you forgot everything that you referred to earlier when I literally texted you that day, take the Eagles. Crazy. But anyway, yeah, so on my side, we have the Pats at the Chargers. The Patriots are -1 going into this game. Joe, credit to us. We were both on the right side of the Patriots last week. Your only fade the public bet that you had on that one because everyone was on the Cardinals. But this is the line movement. The Chargers opened as a -1.5 point favorite, which is mind-numbingly strange to me. 55% of the bets are on the Pats, 56% of the money is on the Pats. It moved to -1. So not a huge, kind of pretty close to 50-50, even though the line moved by a full 2.5 points. I think I have to ride the hot hand in this one. And I did say the Patriots are going to make the Super Bowl. As much as I love the Chargers, they have not covered in their last 5 games. They just haven't.
Yeah.
There's a spread that you have to cover, and the Chargers just haven't done that in 5 games.
We'll touch on that a little.
Yeah, and the Pats are 3-2 in their last 5, which isn't great, but I'm gonna stick with them here. I'm gonna take a -1. This is a playoff game for the Patriots. They got to win to stay in the hunt. Especially with Baltimore losing, they're only a game back with tiebreaker in hand, so that's huge.
I'm assuming you watched last week, right?
Yes.
Stephon Gilmore
Excellent.
He did his part.
Yeah. He held DeAndre Hopkins under his player prop, so yes, he did well.
Okay, I'm just curious.
It was interesting. There was some plays where you're like, why is Gilmore giving him that much of a cushion? But I guess that was the game plan. It was let them have the underneath throws and don't let them beat you deep. And for some reason, Kyler Murray just refused to take the underneath throw every single play.
Okay. Got it.
Kyler's got a big head. He likes to throw it deep.
Yeah.
So is it that time, Joe?
Yeah, it's that time.
What time is it?
It's time for me to bounce back.
Why do you have to bounce back?
Because, I have to catch up to you. You did so well. I didn't do that good last week. You did excellent.
That good?
I didn't do that good last week. You did excellent.
So what are our records on the season?
I'm not sure. That'll come through in the edit, I guess. But it's time for the Mortal Locks.
Okay.
Mortal Locks of the week. Normally, this is the part where I talk about player props. Player props haven't been released yet this week, so we're going to talk about some current props on the market for some awards going on. Starting with the MVP of the league, Patrick Mahomes is a -400 favorite right now. Very much looking the part. At one point was a +500 favorite or underdog when Russell Wilson was going absolutely bananas. There was a time that even Josh Allen had better odds than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes just makes it look too easy. I'm not laying the -400, but not really playing anything else out there. Don't think it's a wise move. Aaron Rodgers is the next runner-up, tied with Russell Wilson at +650. I don't think anybody's beating Mahomes for this award for the rest of the year. Don't really see it being possible short of an injury. The real interesting market for me right now is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Justin Herbert's a -1200 favorite, put up amazing numbers, no doubt. Ex-Oregon Duck, love him. But as Sam mentioned in our previous clip, they are not covering. They are not winning. They are arguably a dumpster fire for the amount of talent they have on their team. I think it's worth dabbling a little bit on Justin Jefferson at +850. If he can continue to keep it up, if Kirk Cousins can continue to keep it up and they make the playoffs somehow, I know it's unlikely. Then Justin Jefferson has to be in some serious contention. Herbert has put up amazing numbers, like I said, but it's just they're not winning at all. Any thoughts, guys?
Yeah, obviously he's minus 1,200 for a reason, but he has every single rookie record ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Passing yards, completions, touchdowns, all that stuff. So I would never lay that number. I would also maybe check out Chase Claypool, put a little sprinkle on him. He has a lot of touchdowns. If the Steelers somehow stay 16-0, he would actually be a massive part in that. So
He's coming in at plus 1,500.
Don't hate it.
My only input is something that we briefly touched on a couple episodes ago, which was Derek Carr's brother using his vote to vote for Derek Carr as the MVP. I would like to let Derek Carr's brother know that that would just be a waste of a pick at this point after his performance in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think I'm not laying the minus 400 on Mahomes just out of sake that there could be an injury, but I just don't think that there's a viable price to pay there either, unless you want to bet Derek Carr. Then you probably.
Do you guys think what's like the thoughts on DK Metcalf?
For what?
MVP.
He's not even on the screen.
The wide receiver has never won MVP.
Hey, man, it's 2020. You never know.
He's not even on the screen. So it's over 200 to 1, Joe. So, if you want it,
I'll put $5 on that. Sure.
Quick grand.
Hell yeah.
Russ is a plus 650, which is basically the DK version of winning MVP. So if that's how you're feeling, if you think that they can get hot again, that's how it would go. But now, what the people are here for, really, unless they want player prop winners, which is a certainty, so don't worry about that, but are the mortal locks of the week. We will start with the loser from last week, Joe. You can go first and redeem yourself. What do you got?
Yeah, I talked about this pick a little bit in our segment for the Rams and the Cardinals. I just don't see how 48% of the bets are on the over, and almost 100% of the money is on the over. That's sharp money. I'm going full on board with the over in that game. I think the Rams step it up a little bit offensively, and the only way that the Cardinals are able to keep up is on the scoreboard as well. So that will be my first mortal lock, is the over.
So.
Yeah, actually, one of my picks is a pick that you had earlier, which credit to you. I did go 3-0 last week. I don't know if anyone heard about that, but I did do that. Joe, you went 0-3. I'm now 13-9 on the season, which is not great. I'm not one to brag about records. 13-9 is meh. Joe, you're now 9-13. Flip-flop, classic flip-flopping Joe. I will say my first pick of the week is going to be the Eagles +9. I have officially figured out the Packers. I've all season I've said I haven't. Last 3 weeks I've been on the right side of the Packers. And this week, based on how the money is moving, 65% of the bets are on the Packers, but 54% of the money is on the Eagles. The line still moved from 6.5 to now 9. Vegas wants people to keep betting the Packers. That's why you take the Eagles. The Eagles have some fight in them. Hopefully Jalen Hurts gets some more playing time because Carson Wentz stinks. But either way, the Eagles are going to backdoor cover this +9. Eagles, that's 1-0 on the week.
Quick note there on that game. Corey Linsley, very, very important part of the offensive line for the Packers, is out this week. So something to consider there with a really good front seven for the Eagles. Joe, back to you.
Yeah, speaking of Derek Carr not getting an MVP pick this season, I do think that the Raiders kind of had like a little bit of a wake-up game last weekend, in the sense that, like we can't just like sleepwalk through teams anymore if we're gonna like ultimately make the playoffs and have any chance of being successful in the playoffs. And I think John Gruden is exactly the kind of coach that can relay that to his team. They're going up to the piss-poor Jets, who are in the race, as always, to just lose anything and everything that they can for Trevor Lawrence. Adam Gase is like one of the biggest frauds who will probably be in the NFL for our entire lives for whatever freaking reason. But yeah, so I'm going to say this is a turnaround game for the Jets. They come out and they absolutely pummel the turnaround game for the Raiders. They're going to come out and pummel the Jets. The line opened at -8. I think I would potentially buy this up to -13.5, but I'll more lock it at what it's currently at -9.
Yeah. My second pick, the Falcons at home are 2.5-point dogs versus the Saints. The line opened for the Saints as a 3.5-point favorite. 55% of the bets are on the Saints, but 69% of the money is on the Falcons. The line has dropped to 2.5 because of that. Sharps are on the Falcons. I am on the Falcons. Buy it up to +3. It's another winner, 2-0.
Falcons' offensive line looked awful against the Saints last go around. A lot of sacks given up. Some.
Yes, but that's why you play each team in your division twice. Also, bonus pick, not a more log, but because we didn't talk about this game, I just want to get it in there. I absolutely love the under in this game. 59% of the bets are on the over. 69% of the money is on the over. Line moved from 47.5 to 45. Vegas wants you to bet the over. You take the under.
Does seem like an over game, so I'm taking the under.
Went under last time.
It did.
True. My third and final, we're going to jump to Psalms Patriots here. They're heading out west to good old LA. I think that Justin Herbert, I don't know what the stats are on this, so I would love to see them outside of maybe Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson of late. Those are two very different rookie quarterbacks in their seasons. Compared to the majority of rookie quarterbacks in the NFL most seasons. But I think Justin Herbert, when you are a rookie quarterback and you grew up watching the Dynasty Patriots play, you get a little in your own head. I don't care if it's the same team or not. You get in a little bit in your own head and I think Justin Herbert's going to probably have a really bad game. This is why I asked about Stephon Gilmore's performance last week against DeAndre Hopkins, because I think he's going to have a hell of a time covering Keenan Allen, who is Justin Herbert's biggest fan. I think that the offense for the Chargers is going to struggle. I don't think that the Patriots are going to do much better, because if the Chargers offense is struggling, it's going to be up to their defense to stop Cam Newton. And I think that they will do that. I love the Patriots, but my mortal lock here is going to be the under 47.5.
Just quick counterpoint. I like the pick, actually, but I don't think Gilmore will be on Keenan Allen. He will probably be covering Mike Williams, and you'll have Keenan Allen double teamed. Bill Belichick special.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, 19-5 against rookie quarterbacks and undefeated in Massachusetts, but this game is not in Massachusetts. So we will see what Justin Herbert has. This could be the nail in the coffin of what looks to be his offensive rookie of the year campaign.
I would do if I could mortal lock this, I would, but I think I'm just going to play it safe based on the fact that I need to crawl back out of my hole here by sticking with the under as the mortal lock. But I would definitely recommend a same game parlay here with the Patriots and the under.
Wow. All right. Well, you heard it from Joe. Any closing thoughts, guys?
I still have one more pick.
Oh, you have one more pick. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
no, you don't. I don't have any more closing thoughts.
This is a game we actually talked about earlier, so we could have just cut it off and we could edit it in saying more to lock. But it is the 49ers as a pick'em against the Bills. Bills opened up as a 2.5-point favorite. Line has then since moved in the favor of the 49ers. I know they're traveling. I know they had to get rid of, pack their families, tell them goodbye, bring them down to Arizona or leave them up in the Bay Area. But the line movement, it just tells a story every time. And this is the story that we're going with, is the 49ers on this one. That is a good pick, in my opinion. I don't think it might be a guarantee like my others. So this might be 2-1, but likely 3-0 again.
That's a crazy pick. I wouldn't be touching that game. Especially
that's why you make it.
Yeah, I know. That's one of those that makes no sense games to me.
Is there any picks of mine, Sam, that I just made here and now that you absolutely are sold that you're going to be fading?
What was the first two?
I had the over in the Rams Cardinals game, over 48.5. I have the Raiders -9, and I have the under in the Patriots Chargers game, 47.5.
Yeah, I hate the Rams Cardinals over. I absolutely will take the under, and then I also hate the. I know the Raiders is such a great football pick, but based on the line, it's the dumbest pick in the world. So I'll probably take the Jets.
So, but all right, I'm willing to make a deal with you here, just
Okay.
for this week here, okay?
Okay.
Because I love the Bills this week.
Okay.
I love the Bills. So
Okay.
let's add. We'll have 4 mortal locks each.
Wow.
I go against your San Fran pick by taking the Bills. You get to pick one of the two that you hate on my end that you get to put on your mortal locks.
This could be a big swing.
What was your you had the under in Pat's Chargers?
Yes, the under in the Pats Chargers game, 47.5.
I love that pick actually. That's one of my favorite ones.
So
That's probably the best pick you made this season. I will take. I don't. I know I just whittled myself into a corner by saying I would fade you, but now that I look at it more, I kind of don't hate the picks, but don't want to put them more.
You don't have to do it. I was just saying because.
Yeah. You get your fourth monologue. I'll stick with 3
could be an extra loss for you, Joe.
or an extra win.
Yeah, no, I really do like the Bills. So
Make it a mortal lock.
The Bills are going to be the public pick of the week. That's what this is going to be. Like on the surface, this should not. This is Nick Mullins against the Bills and the
Joey
Bills.
Publix.
It's Joey Publix. Shops only at Publix. Flies to Florida to shop at Publix. That's what Joe does.
I want the records to be even though, like
No, that doesn't matter.
number-wise.
That doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, fine. Then add it to my card. More luck. Bills.
Bills.
I have 4.
Do you want to add the Patriots too? Because you said you absolutely love them. You could have 5 this week.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I love the Patriots too. 5. I have 5.
All right, so you have the Rams Cardinals over, the Raiders -9, the Chargers Patriots under 47.5, the Patriots -1, and the Bills in the pick'em.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Patriots as a pick'em right now at William Hill, but
Sure, we'll give you the Patriots in the pick'em.
doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter.
We'll give you the Patriots in the pick'em.
Doesn't really matter. I'll take what the line is.
Yeah, they
-1. -1.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another awesome, fun-filled week of What Do You Got? We will see you next week with Joey Publix and Sharp Song.
Murphy's Candles. Don't forget. Bye.
All right. See you guys next week.
See you. Bye.